What's up, Transformers fans? Mondo, the dad Optimus Prime himself, and I'm back with another Moonbase 84 transmission. And today I'm taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Titan Class Star Optimus Prime. As we take a quick look at the packaging, I wanted to add that Star Optimus Prime, that name, it just doesn't flow for me. It just seems off. I know, of course, he used to be called Star Convoy, but now he's Star Optimus Prime, but I wish they came up with a different name because it just doesn't, it feels odd. As for the packaging, I think this box is beautiful. I love this front graphic with Prime in the front, with the Zodiac, his different modes. It even makes his base mode look kind of cool. And I love how in the fog and the shadows you get some of the 13. I wish all of them were there, but I can understand why. They're just the ones that have been officially revealed so far, pretty much. But really nice. I would like to get a poster of this with all the 13 added in, or the other 12 I should say, Prime obviously being the 13. But that would be really cool. On the top you get that graphic we've been seeing with like the statue forms of all 13, which is really cool. Again, I would love to get a poster of this or something for a back display, so when we get all the 13 Primes you'd have this in the background. I think that'd be really wild. And on the back you get everything you get in the set: the Prime, the Hot Rod, MT-13, all the accessories, and his different modes. Speaking of accessories, we're going to check those out first, because as you can see we get quite a bit of them. Nice spread. You get various blast effects, orange and yellow, blue. You get the sword hilt, which is also the Matrix. It would have been nice if it was painted, but it's just plain gray. You get this, fold it like that, blue and black gun that can be used in various configurations. You get Prime's rifle with a little blue bullet that is removable. I already had put it in there. For some reason you can put a bullet in the chamber. It's a weird accessory, but okay. You get MT-13, which is a cool little carrier. Nice red stripe, silver, crisp Autobot badge, really cool. Blue windscreen, you can hear something rattling around because you can open it up, put down the ramp, and you get Micromaster Hot Rod, which is a cool little hot rod in his vehicle mode. Nice metallic blue windscreen, I like that. Little silver engine, really cool little hot rod. We'll take a closer look at Hot Rod in a minute. MT-13 does roll nicely. So yeah, really happy with the amount you get with this set. So we just checked out Micromaster Hot Rod in vehicle mode, so we'll transform him up into robot mode. Very easy, because he is a Micromaster. So unplug his arms, swing down his legs, oops, get it on camera, flip his feet. It looks like feet that should go forward, but they're backward for heel spurs, which is funny. And then flip down the chest. And there you get little Micromaster Hot Rod. He looks really cool in robot mode as well. The only difference is his spoiler isn't on his back, it's on the front of his legs. And he has a little bit of articulation. His arms do rotate up like that. Elbow bend. Little, there we go, rotation, pretty tight. And the legs kick everywhere. And he can do past 90 in the knee because of transformation. Yeah, so cool little hot rod to mess around with this set. Besides hauling hot rod around, MT-13 has some other play features. You can take the front off like so. Try to flip his cannons out if I can get it. There we go. And he's got cannons. And then you can plug the cannon on like that. Then you can take this gun, flip it down like that, and then attach Hot Rod to it. So Hot Rod locks on like that, uses his little heel spurs to keep him nice and secure. And then you can do things, you can have him interact with MT-13. Plug him on. And there you got a nice little, whoa, put the camera up. You got a nice little attack mode for MT-13 and Hot Rod, because all of these blasters are blast effect compatible, so you can put them on like so. And like so. Oops, banging stuff around. And like you can do obviously down here on MT13 like so. So really cool. And now for the main event of the set, which of course is Star Optimus Prime himself. I'm starting off in truck mode. As you can see here, quite a long fellow. He's big and bulky. What I do like about him is the original had a gap between the cab and the trailer, like a big gap. And I like how they got rid of that for this release. But really nice. He's always been an odd looking truck to me, but he's got a lot of nice details. He's got the, I unpegged that, classic Prime stripe going down the side with a crisp Autobot symbol. He's got the cannons in the front that can swivel and move up and down, which is really cool. Let's see if I can get him. He is pretty big for my review station. But you can see all the nice panel work and detail there. Nice blue. It's got like almost like a metallic flake to it. I don't know if that's just my lighting. Maybe it's just my lighting, but in the lights it looks good. See his treads. Of course, modern figure, he loses like all the gimmicks, so he's not motorized like the original, which kind of is a shame. I get it, it's not a gripe, but that would have been really cool. Let's see if we can get a look at the front. There's the front. You got the nice blue windscreen, some yellows for the lights, some gray for the grille, and then underneath, not much to look at. And then the back. So yeah, he is hard to get in frame. He is quite big. So you can take hot rod off the gun emplacement and fold it back up like so. And you can also plug that in there. So he has a back gun, of course, blast effects. These front cannons are also, everything I believe is blast effect compatible. So there you go, that's pretty cool. I love blast effects. We need more blast effects. Also, he rolls really nicely, nice and smooth. The one thing I wish he could do was turn his cab, but it's just a solid, big solid brick. But he does roll nicely. Of course, the treads aren't working treads. They're just there for look. He has the wheels on the bottom. So that is Star Prime in truck mode, and I'm going to go ahead and transform him up, and we'll take a look at his base mode. So here's Star Optimus Prime transformed up into base mode, and much like my jokes, it's kind of lame. I know that they're trying to, you know, again, evoke the classic toy, but I mean, he just has his arms hanging out. It's basically Prime looking sideways and splitting his legs open. I mean, kind of grotesque in a way, but hey, it is what it is. And it's so ridiculous and funny that I kind of like it a little bit. But as you can see, I got some of his blast effects here. He's just basically looking down in his chest. MT3 I have here, MT13 I should say, shooting some stuff. Hot rod you can plug into here. And there is a little play feature with that, which I think is pretty fun. You can, okay, so for the play feature, he's hot rod on his little turret. You can spin this little wheel around and shoo shoo, and he can actually shoot his his own base. But he can ward off Decepticons, so that's pretty cool. Overall, like, silly, but in a fun way. The instructions actually have you have this arm down too, but to really use the gimmick for hot rod, you really can't do that because obviously it crashes. But there you go. Just very goofy, but very fun. I like that there's some play features. And of course you could load up the base with other Micromasters if you had them. You can also open up Prime's chest like so, and you can fit Hot Rod inside, so he can just be hanging out in there, commanding the base from Prime's chest. Also, forgot when we were doing accessories, because I had it plugged in. If I can get it out. He does come with the little Zodiac, which is cool. I think, personally, I think that this should have been a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. And he can also hold it, which looks goofy. If I can get it in there. There. And that looks kind of goofy, and you can hold it obviously in robot mode. And also you could populate, you know, this base with other Micromasters, Titan Masters, whatever masters they decide to come up with, or just any other little people like The creepy little Fortnite elf here. I guess he's a little big, bigger than Hot Rod, but I guess you can stick him in there, creepy little Fortnite elf as well. So that is Star Optimus's base mode. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get him out of his yoga pose because it looks kind of painful, and we'll check out his robot mode. So here's Star Optimus Prime all transformed up into robot mode, and even though he is the smaller scale Titan at the lower price point, he is still quite a big fellow. We will compare him next to another quite big fellow, the Commander class Jetfire, and as you can see, he's quite a bit taller than him. Bringing Prime in for a closer look, we'll take a look at his head sculpt, which is very cool, very anime style, which is appropriate because the original character Star Convoy is from the Japanese G1 that we didn't get over here. The one thing I don't like is that his eyes are light piped, but it takes a lot of light to get him to shine, so he's kind of dead inside. But besides that, really cool. You got gold up on his chest, nice blue windscreen in the chest with some nice detail in there. And then you get his front of his fake truck mode with the lights and the grill. Some nice crisp Autobot badges on both shoulders. And then just some nice detail throughout. Of course, we saw a lot of this in truck and base mode, but really nice. And then what I really like is how tidy and clean the back is. He's only got that little dinky panel, so it's not even, I wouldn't even call it a backpack. So really nice. There's his tread. So yeah, really, really awesome robot mode in my opinion. Articulation wise, his head does swivel all around. You don't get any up, unfortunately, and you do get down because of the base mode. Look down straight into his chest, and no tilt, so a little bit limited in the articulation in the head. He's got some really strong ratchets for his arms. And of course, they rotate all around. And then you've got a 90-degree elbow. You got the bicep swivel. His wrists do rotate if on camera there. His fingers do open. No thumb, but just the fingers. He's got the waist swivel, really nice. Push up these, get that out of the way, push up his little skirts. And then you can see if I'm on camera. Nice strong ratchets again. He can do the splits, of course he has to get in his base mode. Thigh swivel. You get just short of 90 on the knee. And then his toe can point down. And he does have some nice pivot. So decent articulation. I just wish there was a tiny bit more in the head. I almost forgot, articulation wise, of course his arms can go up like that, spread out like that. I missed that. There's so much going on with this figure, I was bound to miss something. I probably missed some more things as well. You can take the blast effects and plug it into the sword hilt to make a sword. And of course that just plugs in for him to hold like so. And if you don't like that blast effect for the sword, you can also use the blue one. I love this blue, nice translucent blue. Love it, just really pops. Love translucent blue. And plug it in like that. I'm not really sure which one I like better. I actually don't care for either one in a way. But if I were to use this as the Matrix sword or whatever it is, I think I would do this because it's a flaming sword. The only thing about that one is I think it's a little too small. And just like with base mode, you can open his chest up and have Hot Rod sit in there, or again, creepy little Fortnite elf or whoever else you want to shove in to Prime. And of course you can, just like I showed with the base mode, you take the Zodiac and you can hold the little Zodiac again. I think that's a little too small and it has plugging in. But yeah, you could do that if you want. No traditional Matrix. But the Zodiac, because that's what they were dealing with when Convoy came back to life. Another cool thing that you can do with this guy is in the realm of storage. He can store almost everything he comes with. because of his legs. Now, he stores a lot of things in his legs. If I can get it to pop open, why won't it pop? There we go. And you can take MT13. Let's see if I can do this like on the first try, because it is a snug fit. You gotta get it just right. Okay, I believe MT13 is nice and secure now. You just close it back up like that. Close this back up like so. And get everything lined up. Sometimes, there we go. Sometimes because of this armature, it wiggles around, so you got to find the peg. And what I forgot to show is how I've been storing things is that I take MT13, put hot rod in, and then put them in, which I wish I did that before, because this is a tight connection to get MT13 out, or take them out once you get them in there. But that's how I store them. I put hot rod right in there. You can take the sword hilt and plug it in there like so, and I'm sure you could put the blast effects in there, which I might do for storage. And if it fits, I'm going to try to put this in there as well, because you can use this as a gun in this configuration for Prime, but I don't like the look of it for Prime. It's a cool accessory for hot rod and the base, but yeah, kind of lackluster. There is a configuration I goofed up and didn't show for, I forget how it goes with the sword hilt, but that looks even goofier, so I'm not going to bother showing that. So that's my review of the Transformers Age of the Primes Titan class Star Optimus Prime, and I love this figure. He is just a lot of fun to mess with. He's big, bulky, chunky, feels great with the ratchets and everything. Yes, he has the goofy base mode, but hey, that's nostalgia, man. I can see why they went with a goofy base mode, and what base mode in Transformers isn't a little goofy? Most of them are. Truck mode, again, a little wonky, but again, a callback to the original Star Convoy toy. Where he really shines to me is in the robot mode. Just really awesome robot mode, really nice Prime. He's got all the anime aesthetics, as he should. His accessory loadout, I'm really happy with what we get with the set, and there's more play value than we get with the hot rod and stuff than we typically get. There's a lot of fun to be had with this Prime. And one other thing I'd like to say is, even though he's obviously a modern figure, he feels very nostalgic to me. Like, he's got all the modern bells and whistles. The original one, of course, was pretty much a motorized brick, which is cool in its own right, but for some reason when I mess around with him, I feel like I'm messing around with the original G1 toy. He just has some kind of nostalgia factor, which I think is awesome. And again, he looks great. Very happy with this purchase. And I'm also like that he is the smaller scale Titan class, and we all know corporations usually suck, but it's really cool that they recognized, you know, this is a smaller scale Titan, so they didn't charge the bigger full-size Titan prices, which is really awesome, because they could have easily have tried to pass this off at the regular Titan price, and they didn't do that. So we bag on corporations, so it's, you know, only fair to give them a little credit for not trying to scam us. But yeah, fantastic figure. I do highly recommend him. Just a lot of fun and looks great on a shelf. With all that being said, comment to let me know what you think about Star Optimus Prime here, and as always, thanks for docking.